Hey guys, what is going on? This is Wrestlelamia back with another episode. Big news in WWE as SmackDown superstar Cesaro has opted to exit the WWE following the expiration of his contract. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at Cesaro's WWE departure, the reasons behind it, the effect on the WWE, and what's next for the Swiss Superman. Cesaro's contract expires. Cesaro's WWE departure has caught many fans and wrestling pundits off guard as the talented big man has spent over a decade in the WWE and signed a new deal in 2021. However, there's more to the story than you might think, including the circumstances and reasons behind his exit. PW Insider broke the news, with Mike Johnson reporting, WWE star Cesaro has quietly exited WWE after his current contract expired, PWInsider.com has confirmed. He last performed for WWE on February 11, losing to Happy Corbin on an episode of Friday Night SmackDown. We are told the two sides had been in negotiations, but had not come to terms on a new agreement. One source noted that WWE did offer Cesaro an extension on his current deal, but that was turned down. Dave Meltzer has confirmed the story, and Fightful Select had news on the backstage reaction in WWE. The immediate reaction from those within the company was disappointment and dismay, as Cesaro had been one of the most universally liked talent on the roster. We are told that this was not a case of WWE not wanting him there. In fact, he was offered a new contract, in which WWE sources claim was rejected. You may recall Cesaro signed a new contract in 2021 and was given a brief push that included a Universal Championship match against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania Backlash, followed by a feud with Seth Rollins. Following the Rollins feud, Cesaro drifted back down to the mid-card. As we'll see, Cesaro's rise and fall are a pattern seen throughout his WWE career, and one that may have played a pivotal role in his decision to leave. A utility player. Cesaro, aka Claudio Castagnoli, entered the WWE in 2011 after a standout career in promotions such as Ring of Honor, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Pro Wrestling Noah, and Combat Zone Wrestling. Cesaro earned a reputation in these promotions as a wrestler who could work complex technical matches while also utilizing incredible power moves such as his Cesaro swing and spinning backbreaker rack. The 6'5" wrestling technician seemed like a good fit for the WWE when he debuted on the main roster in 2012, including a run with the United States Championship early in his career that lasted an impressive 239 days. However, by 2013, Cesaro's singles push stalled, with the big man competing largely in tag team matches and occasional singles matches. While he enjoyed 5 tag team championships with Sheamus during their time together as The Bar, not to mention one each with Shinsuke Nakamura and Tyson Kidd, spots in the main event eluded Cesaro for much of his career. Cesaro's incredible ring abilities and strong work ethic led to fans and wrestlers alike lobbying for him to be pushed into the main event. Mick Foley was one of Cesaro's biggest supporters, but like Sisyphus, Cesaro would climb to the top only to be knocked down before he reached the summit. Despite his many talents, Vince McMahon seems to have seen Cesaro as a utility player, a wrestler who can work with any opponent and make them look good, but as a wrestler who doesn't have the it factor that distinguishes a good wrestler from a great wrestler. Occasionally, Mr. McMahon would push Cesaro into the upper card or main event, but it was always to make someone else look good, and there has never been any evidence after 2013 that McMahon had any intention of giving Cesaro a sustained push at the top. Wrestlelamia knows better than to try to unravel the madness that is Mr. McMahon's wrestling mind, but one reason McMahon never saw Cesaro as a true main eventer was a perception that the Swiss cyborg lacked charisma and/or microphone skills. Paul Davis of Wrestling News reminded fans of past comments and reports by Vince McMahon about Cesaro, including, "When McMahon appeared on Stone Cold's Broken Skull sessions in 2015, he stated that he did not see Cesaro as a big draw. Dave Meltzer also reported a few years back that McMahon felt that Cesaro was boring." While Cesaro has much to offer in the ring, some critics besides McMahon have pointed to his mic skills and charisma as detrimental to his overall marketability as a main eventer. On one hand, the case can be made that the WWE never gave Cesaro a time to improve on the stick or to cultivate any charisma that he may have, much like Brock Lesnar, who seemed devoid of charisma until his recent return at 2021 SummerSlam and adoption of a fun-loving, albeit skull-crushing, sweater-wearing cowboy. Ironically, Cesaro's age didn't seem to be a factor with his push or over any decision to keep him around. While WWE has been focusing on big and young wrestlers as seen by its dramatic reconstruction of NXT into NXT 2.0, Cesaro doesn't look his age, 41, and his size is exactly what Vince McMahon likes in his performers. Still, there is no denying McMahon didn't see Cesaro as a top act. While McMahon didn't seem to see Cesaro as a main eventer, that's not so with the fans, a factor which could help Cesaro if he chooses to continue wrestling. Instead, despite his inconsistent pushes, the fans' respect for Cesaro's abilities have repeatedly shown they will embrace him as a top-tier performer when given the chance, no matter how many times he's been jobbed out. Why did Cesaro leave? There are currently no statements from Cesaro regarding his departure, so any reasons are speculation. Here are a few to consider. 1. 11 years is enough. An 11-year run in WWE is a long one, especially when you know where you stand. According to a report from the Wrestling Observer Figure 4 Online, there were reportedly no plans to push him in recent months unless he re-signed, and by now, Cesaro should know where he stands in WWE's booking hierarchy. As Wrestling News' Paul Davis pointed out in an article on Cesaro leaving the WWE, Cesaro also appeared to express unhappiness with his spot in the company when he liked some tweets from fans expressing disappointment that the company could not find something for him to do at this year's Royal Rumble show. Those social media tweets may explain everything about Cesaro's decision not to stay, but others are worth consideration. 2. A change of scenery. Cesaro may just want a new place to wrestle in after 11 years working in WWE. AEW's status as a legitimate national promotion is just one of several new places Cesaro can work if he opts to continue performing. 3. New competition. A WWE exit also means Cesaro has a chance to work with new performers and/or wrestlers he hasn't competed against in some time. Cesaro seems like a wrestler's wrestler, someone who enjoys the art of wrestling perhaps as much as he does a good payday. What's next for Cesaro? While Cesaro is 41, the big man has kept himself in shape and can work a style that keeps him from putting too much wear and tear on his body. Promotions such as AEW and New Japan, which pride themselves in signing technically proficient wrestlers, would be eager to sign him. Cesaro's size also makes him an asset as AEW still lacks many big men. Cesaro would also have no problem finding work on the independent circuit, which can command surprising salaries for established WWE superstars. Smaller promotions such as Impact and Ring of Honor, should it actually relaunch in April as promised, remain possibilities. Likewise, Braun Strowman and EC3's Control Your Narrative could provide Cesaro with a new home. It's unknown what Cesaro's financial status is, but he likely has options other than continuing to wrestle. Should Cesaro choose to retire, he could pursue a career as a trainer, including a return to WWE where he could work backstage. Other promotions would benefit from him training their wrestlers and sharing his experience in the ring. Lastly, Cesaro could do as several retired or semi-retired wrestlers have done and open up his own wrestling school. While WWE management may see Cesaro's exodus as his loss, it sounds like it has hurt the ever-shaky backstage morale in the locker room. In the big picture, though, it's difficult to imagine WWE seeing this as a loss, and they will continue to utilize wrestlers as they see fit. Wrestlelamia will continue following this story as it develops. Well guys, there you have it, Wrestlemania's look at Cesaro's exit from the WWE. What do you think is next for wrestling's Swiss Superman? Be sure to let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time for some more wrestling content.